How do you review a game shorter than a movie? Well, let's just talk about it. Venba is a hybrid, one part visual novel, one part cooking puzzle game. It tells the story of a Tamil family, which I think is kind of like a subculture of India, though reading the Wikipedia page it's referred to as this basically ancient surviving classical civilization. Kind of like the Indian version of whoever was out here speaking Latin back in the BCE days. But still around to this day in different parts of the world, mostly in India, but there's a couple 100,000 of them in the US and Canada, which is relevant because the story is about this family moving to Canada. Tamil is also apparently spelled differently by them and pronounced Tamil, which I promise I said incorrectly, but not that incorrectly. I looked up an audio thing of it, and it just sounds like they're not even saying letters, so for convenience I'm saying Tamil from now on as someone who can't trace his roots back to before Christ. Anyway, Venba is an emotional story of a Tamil couple who moved to Canada for a better life and opportunity for their son, as well as home-based issues. And you get to watch a good chunk of their lives play out as their son grows up and exhibits a resistance to their culture in an effort to better assimilate into Canadian society. Why anyone would want to fit in with Canadians is beyond me, but that's the direction they went with for the story, and I won't fault them for it. I'll try not to talk about things too much, both to prevent spoilers and so the entire game doesn't begin and end in the footage here, but yeah, Venba isn't even 90 minutes long, which makes a $15 price tag a bit of an ask, but it's also free on Game Pass, which is where I played it. The story succeeds in providing a couple of emotional beats that make you feel things, though I was never moved to actual tears, partially because I think they biffed one of the moments by glossing over it for no reason. No spoilers, like I said, but I don't know why this thing happened off-screen, only to be discussed retroactively after a time skip when you could have given it the screen time it deserved, especially since you were hardly pressed for game duration. It felt like I skipped a scene by accident. That's really my only gripe, as I was otherwise invested enough to keep going, and it was convenient to do so because the game doesn't ask too much of you otherwise. As for the gameplay sections, the cooking puzzles are short and generally involve following recipe instructions, but sometimes with important parts of it either missing or in the wrong language, so you have to figure it out logically. It starts out easy enough, like deducing you need to rotate stacked trays a certain way so that steam comes up through little holes poked in them. But I had to take hints from 2 or 3 of the mid-game cooking sessions because the recipe would tell you virtually nothing and I'd have to brute force my way through the dish because I don't belong to an ancient culture and have no idea how this shit is made. Some of those recipes look tasty though. Anything with chili powder is something I want in my mouth, and the very first thing you cook in the game is something I legit want to try making myself if I ever get access to some of their alien cookware. I usually do a graph of different categories to judge games by, but something this short and simple is more of an overall experience anyway, so I'm just going to come right out with an overall score and tell you that I'm giving Venba a 75 out of 100. I think they undercut a major story development and the cooking puzzles can be super trial and error, but it's an easy game to just do for a little while till it's over, and it's an interesting window into a culture I didn't know existed. It also isn't whiny or sanctimonious, which is nice. Well, that's gonna do it for this review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe. Watch all my other videos with a red dot in the middle of your forehead, and I'll see you guys next time.